The ukulele and scientific method. I never thought I'd be putting that into an introduction. Keep watching. Yeah, welcome back to GotAUkulele. As ever, this is the summary video review. If you look at the link below each video, that'll take you to the main website where you get a lot more information about this, and all the other reviews are listed there as well too. There's hundreds of them. A lot of thank yous running across the bottom of the screen because I've been away for a week. These are people who've donated to help keep this site going, because I don't take money from brands and stores and instrument makers, because they would just be paid for adverts. These are impartial reviews. So my eternal thanks to those people. You can also help me out by subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you hit the bell symbol, you'll get notified of new stuff coming your way. Let's move on. I've reviewed instruments from this brand several times before. Everyone has been a cracker. He's a guy who really innovates, constantly pushing the envelope as to his designs, his material choices, that kind of thing. The brand is called Antica Ukuleleria, and it's the luthier business of Marco Todeschini in Verona province in Italy, and this is his new one. This is the Galileo Tenor ukulele by Antica Ukuleleria. Galileo, very, very famous scientist, and that takes me back to that introduction. I said that Marco is an innovator and is constantly pushing ideas on decoration, material use, like the sackcloth ukuleles that he made. But he's gone on a deep dive with this one into scientific theory. In fact, this is born out of a test model that he made to test out some theories. Hence why he called it the Galileo. He liked it so much he's turned it into an actual model. And the reason that deep dive, what he was looking at getting into, and this is well, I've dived into it as well, is the concept of keeping the top and the back soundboards separate from the sides. Because a lot in a traditional instrument build, a luthier will build the top and then he will brace and tune the top, then stick it on the sides. And the minute you do that, the sides start coming into play. But it's well accepted in luthiery that if you make the sides thick or double them or laminate them, the sides then take less of the sound energy away from the top, leaving the top to do its thing. That is what Marco's been trying to deal with this one, the Galileo. How's he done it? Well, on first glance, it's a very modern looking, very Antica Ukuleleria looking modern instrument. Double bout shape. It's a thin line as well, but it's a really attractive instrument. Very modern looking, very Marco, but very different in the construction. What he's done, as you can see, there are two pieces to this. There's a top module and a back module. Now, these are not like the Bonanza clamshell thing, because what he does is that top module and that back module are two blocks of wood, and he cuts out a ring and pushes that middle piece of wood out, so he's left with just a thick outer ring. There are pictures on the website. If you go below, you'll see how this works. So he's left with a thick outer ring, onto which he drops a solid top, and he tunes and braces the solid top separately, does the same with the back, and then puts the two together. So there's this middle block. Where's that go? Well, that middle block gets cut out. He then makes a couple of sopraninos out of those blocks, so there's no waste. It's an absolutely wonderful concept. So yeah, he's creating a very thick ring and then drops a solid thin top and back onto it, both with their own bracing. Interesting. What's the wood here? Well, this is chestnut, and it's available in chestnut and chestnut with an antique stain, but also in cherry. I really like the grain of this. I love all this here, how it's all matched up. Wonderful, wonderful grain. Very, very nice, as I say. It's a thin line. So this is chestnut. So let's get back into the more normal parts of a ukulele review. The bridge is a through body style. That's pear wood, which is also very attractive. Very, very smoothly finished. He's used this style of bridge before, and that is a compensated top Corian material saddle. Yes, it is compensated. It looks like it's sort of higher at the ends, but it isn't. It's because the bridge tapers down at the sides as well. What you'll also notice here is that the body is thicker front to back on the bottom bout than it is at the top, so it narrows down in a wedge shape. What that does is it allows the strings to be higher over the top of the soundboard, which is better for volume. But the problem with making your strings higher over the soundboard is you end up making them higher over the fingerboard. So the neck here is a bolt-on, but as you can see, it's wedged on an angle to counteract. So the strings are low over the fingerboard, but high over the body. Very clever, very clever. That neck, as I say, bolt on. That's also made of chestnut. I love the grain to that. Really nice and attractive. I think it's one piece, and we'll come on to the carving up at the headstock, which you may have spied, but otherwise very, very diminutive heel down there. Very nice and flat and back on the profile. It is as smooth as glass, because Marco's instruments are always finished so very, very well. And really roomy up there as well, 37mm, 30mm G2A. I did look at a tenor of Marco's before, and I thought it was a bit too narrow at the nut. That's much more up my street. The fingerboard is made of pear as well. Interesting, unusual looking wood, isn't it? Very, very smooth, glassy smooth, really nicely finished. Fitted with 18 frets, 12 to the body, as I say, on that sort of angled wedge, which allows the strings to be low over the fingerboard but high over the body. Very, very clever. And also a 0 fret as well to help with intonation. Black position dots face out at 5, 7, 10, 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and black dots down the side too. The headstock, very plain, and because of that neck angle he has to compensate here as well, hence that sort of carved back effect, which I think is really funky looking. And that gives you the break angle over the Corian nut to bring the strings back down to the pegs to keep it all nice and taut. That's really nice. The tuners are open gears by De Young, which I've said before are incomparable in quality to Grover gears. These are very, very good. And it comes with Marco's strings, which he funnily points out that he admits that it's just fishing line that he's chopped up and put into packets. It's fluorocarbon. And yeah, I absolutely love this. I've got to come on to the price. This is a handmade instrument in Italy, not China, with a lot of thought that's gone into the development of it as well, and a lot of work that's gone into it as well. This is not a case of just bending some sides. It's a lot of cutting and a lot of work. 720 euros. That didn't surprise me at all. If you translate that into man hours, he's working for a pittance. 720 euros. That's really, really good value. And there's something about it. I just love that scientific approach he's put into it. I've probably explained it really badly. I'm sorry, Marco, but there's more information in the written review, which I think I got it clear up. But as I say, thick ring, leaves the soundboard to do its thing more without interfering. And it's certainly resonant on the top. Okay, it's not heavy because of those thick outer rings. It is 685 grams, which for a tenor is not too bad at all. It balances wonderfully, just balances perfectly. Marco says that the chestnut is brighter and snappier, and that the cherry wood is more rounded, perhaps mellower. I haven't played the cherry, so I can't give you a comparison, but this is the chestnut. And bear in mind, I think my opinions on tone are changing. I always used to say I like woody, darker instruments, but then I really fell for these Anui colours, and they're really bright and snappy. Volume first of all, because that's what Marco was driving at on this, keeping the volume even though it's a thin line. It's a loud instrument, a very loud instrument. Yeah, that's all right. The sustain is good too. It's bright, it's definitely bright, but the crispness of every note in that mix is remarkable. Brighter than I normally want for a tenor, but as I say, my tastes are changing. That is so crisp. Ooh, lovely. Finger picking. Something tells me this is nice. How pretty that is. That's my favourite Antica Ukuleleria instrument so far that I've seen, and I've seen a few, and I really liked the Sacco. That's really blown me away. That is such a lovely neck to play. The volume is great. The sustain is great. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I really like the tone to it as well. The fit and finish is superb. It's got the highest score I've given an instrument of Marco's yet, and for good reason, I think. I'm rambling. I know Marco's been really cautious about sending me stuff, and he's probably sitting there nervously today thinking, what's he going to say? He really did not need to worry about this one. He did not need to worry about this one, because this is just a wonderful instrument. Gets a very, very good score. Well done to Marco. The Galileo Tenor by Antica Ukuleleria from Verona in Italy, handmade by Marco Todeschini. He's a genius. He's an absolute genius. I absolutely adore this instrument. Adore it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody, and your support. I'm back next week. Not entirely sure what's lined up next. I've got loads coming now, but back next week. Look after yourselves in the weekdays ahead. Take care. Look after each other. See you soon. Bye-bye.